On.
All right, thanks everyone for coming. Nancy and I welcome you to this Foundation Zoom call with a focus on polio. Bernie Rydell is moderating this and he has already hit the record button, so we're good on that. On this call, we're pleased to have distinguished Rotarians to speak with us. Zone 33 Director Patrick Eakes is going to start us off with ideas on polio fundraising, followed by Nancy Barbie giving a firsthand glimpse of the efforts in Pakistan from her recent trip. A quick update on the numbers and where Zone 33 stands is next. And then we have an exciting opportunity on club involvement by Vice Chair Fundraising Rotaries Together We End Polio Now campaign and past Director Rotary International, Robert Hall. Then he's going to hand it over to our incoming Zone 33 End Polio Now coordinator, John Nanny, who's going to share some important upcoming events and Q&A. And we saved the best for last. Previous Rotary International President and Rotary Trustee Stephanie Yurchik with some closing remarks. So, Patrick, will you start us off?
I sure will. Thank you so much, Colleen. And it is great to see so many people on this call who are passionate about ending this dreaded disease. My goodness, 57 people. This is fabulous. This is such an important topic to me. I know it's important to so many of you and certainly to our entire organization. Colleen and Nancy asked me to talk a little bit about innovative fundraisers and maybe fun fundraisers. And a couple immediately came to mind. Now, some of you will remember our Jacksonville summit that we had back in September. So I'm only going to describe this a little bit because I know some of you took part in this, some of you did not. But this idea came from previous president Stephanie Yurchik, who told me that she wasn't doing so many 5Ks and 10Ks anymore, but that she could handle a 0K, that she thought she was up for that. And when we were in Jacksonville, we had a 0K. You pay to enter. The start finish line is one and the same. You get a gourmet donut, you get coffee, and of course, all of those entry fees went to support End Polio Now. And really for an early morning event, it generated all kinds of buzz and excitement and fun and mostly dollars to support our number one corporate project. So I know many of you were there, many of you participated in that. But for those of you who were not there, something seemingly so simple that you could implement very easily at a district conference or another district event, it's right there for the taking. And I know Nancy and Colleen, who were part of helping plan that, would be able to help you with that. And I uttered these words, I think it was 2013 when I said something about I like to practice R&D, rip off and duplicate. And now that phrase has been ripped off and duplicated so many times. But this is exactly what we're talking about. You can take a great idea and implement it easily. I also want to spend a little bit more time talking about a polio fundraiser that we had in my district. And rarely do I go to my club or my district for examples, but this particular one was quite amazing. Starting, I think, in the year 2010, one of our members, who was a Sandler Sales Institute franchisee, said, I really care about polio. I'm good at training, back when we trained people, and said, I want to do something to raise money for polio. And so she was able to convince a couple of other franchisees to come to Greensboro, North Carolina, where we both live. They put on a day-long Sandler Sales Institute training session. Really, really good material. I mean, they charged thousands of dollars for this. Normally, they did it for $199. We held it at a venue, a large venue where Carolina's Pets is held, that typically you can't get banquet space like that without taking a block of rooms. But they did it during the International Furniture Market when they sell out all the rooms anyway, and they donated the banquet space. We had a simple salad lunch that was even discounted. And we had hundreds of people join or come and join us for the day. We ended up doing this for 5 years and attracting other Sandler franchisees from around the country. I remember one flying in from San Francisco, which I think it's either Rotary Club number two or number three, who came in and they wanted in on this. And then it was duplicated in other districts. I know there was one held in the St. Pete area, one held in the Midwest, but the sum total of these 5 years was something like $175,000 raised for polio. And this was just a member who said, okay, I'm good at training. I have access to this incredible material that Sandler Sales provides, and I'm a Rotarian. What can I do to support our number one external priority? Just an incredible effort that came from that one really good idea. And I know looking at this room of now 63 people who care about this, that you have a good idea. At least a few of you do, that you could implement in this way. You can bring something from inside of you, some talent, experience you have, combine it with your Rotary network or perhaps your professional network, and really do some good with it. So I'll leave you with that one that was really fun and even a little bit whimsical. I think I got to cross the finish line with Stephanie there in Jacksonville. We actually tied. She wouldn't let me beat her. She wasn't having it. And then the other that was really a nice professional development day. And by the way, I know out of the first one of those we held with the Sandler folks, we got 6 new members, people who came who thought, wow, $200 for this is a bargain. And they're like, if this is what Rotary's about, I'm in. So I'll leave you with those two suggestions. But I encourage you to really embrace the opportunity to do something fun around this effort. I mean, we know it's a serious subject. We know there are serious consequences, but man, we can have fun while we're doing some good in the world. So I encourage you to do that. I am going to hand it off now to my dear friend Nancy Barbie, one of our 2 current In Polio Now coordinators for Zone 33. Nancy,
Thank,
stage is yours.
thank you so much, Patrick. Those were great ideas. And he's right. Let's have fun doing this. And the more fun you have, it seems to me, the more fun you have, the more money you raise. So those are great ideas. Thank you for that, Patrick. Bernie, will you share your screen, please? And let's look at some slides. If you'll, there you go. Folks, when we talk about eradicating polio, it's easy to think in terms of numbers, cases, reduced vaccines delivered, milestones reached. But what I witnessed in Pakistan reminded me that polio eradication is not ultimately about statistics. It's about trust. It's not about cases. It's about children. In communities where health workers walk door to door, where buses are stopped at transit posts, and where families have been hesitant or fearful in the past, trust is the most powerful tool we have. I saw local health workers, many of them women from the very neighborhoods they serve, welcomed into the homes because they're known and they're respected, and of course they're trusted. And I saw Rotarians working side by side with them, not as outsiders, but as partners who listen, who show up consistently and keep their promises. This trust doesn't happen overnight. It's built through relationships, cultural respect, and a shared commitment to protecting children. It's built when communities see that we are there not just once, but again and again and again, through floods, through conflict, through misinformation, and fatigue. Yes, fatigue is right there, always with the same message: your children matter. My trip to Pakistan allowed me to see polio eradication in action, not as a program, but as a human partnership. It reminded me of India and how these very factors helped eradicate polio in 2014 in India. Today, I want to share what that looks like on the ground, why trust is the foundation of success, and how Rotary's role alongside health workers and local communities continues to bring us closer to a polio-free world. This slide, standing in front of a cold chain, Mary Shackleton from New York and I traveled together. This is a cold chain storage container at a major bus stop crossing the border into Karachi. WHO supplies an ample supply Go back a slide, Bernie. An ample supply of vaccines in order to be ready when the buses roll in and children can be checked to see if they have been vaccinated. Now you can go to the next slide. Our host and organizer of this trip was past foundation trustee, Aziz Mehman. Rotary Club members of several clubs in Karachi met us at the airport. We were treated like queens, I'm telling you, and transferred us to Aziz's home. Our aide Amina took care of our every need throughout this whole entire trip. And when I say treated like queens, I mean that. We were held in high regard the whole way there, which was much, much appreciated. Next slide, Bernie. The first day, which we weren't sure what this exactly was, Aziz sent us a schedule when we weren't sure exactly why we were going to this, but we figured it out once we were there. We were invited to attend a measles, mumps, rubella, and polio vaccination inauguration in the Sindh district in Karachi. This took place at a school of the differently abled, where we were greeted by a band playing and marching. And guess what? These students are blind. And the entire school was filled with talented artists, vocalists, painters, and needle workers, and all were unable to see, hear, or both. And I'll ask, why did you choose this particular place? And the health minister said, from that district said, because we go where the children are. And there was a lot of children there, and we vaccinated every one of those children that had not been vaccinated in the past. Next slide, please, Bernie. At the school, as you can see, we took part in the polio drops and then toured the school. I sat in a musical session with a young lady who was blind, but her voice sounded like an angel. She led a group of blind students in a song that certainly I didn't understand the words, but the feeling and the mood was set, and it was absolutely stunning. WHO, UNICEF, government officials, Gates Foundation representatives, and Rotary dignitaries were in attendance. Of course, Aziz was up front. Mary and I sat with a delightful woman who's a major health administrator in Karachi, and she explained a lot of what was going on in Karachi to us while we were in that session. Next slide, please. This young man is Kazir. I'm not sure I'm pronouncing his name right, but that's what I said. He didn't correct me, so I guess I'm okay. He's a young Rotarian, but he is one of the leaders of the vaccination efforts in this area. We're standing outside the building where the health workers come for training. That training takes about a week and is conducted by WHO officials. As it was explained to me, they're the ones with the funding that make sure that the healthcare workers are paid and make sure that they're trained very thoroughly. Some workers have been doing this for over 10 years. And why do they do it? I ask. Then they explain because they're from there and they want all those children to be saved from having polio. Next slide, Bernie. We walked in the high population area and were told there were many refugees from Afghanistan, Sri Lanka, Nepal, northern Pakistan, and many other countries that come there to find work near Karachi or to get out of war-torn areas. All of them speak different languages, which you can imagine is a very strong barrier to the polio vaccination efforts. But because of the healthcare workers that are from there and from other places as well, they are able to overcome that language barrier and again build the trust. It takes time, but they've done that. And you can see in one of the pictures that she is marking the wall where they've given the vaccine. And that happens every time the healthcare workers go out. They mark it, take chalk and mark it on the wall to show the day they've come and what type of vaccination they've given. And they are also given not just polio drops, they're giving inoculations too for measles and mumps as well. And let's take a walk through this village. Bernie, next slide. and hit the video.
And we're walking again now, and we're headed to another house. Just vaccinated one child. This is a healthcare worker, and you see she carries the much needed cooler for the vaccines. So they go inside, check the house, see how many children are there, and they'll bring them out. We don't really need to go in the house and disturb their privacy. No children in this house.
So the kid is not at house right now.
Okay, they're not home at the moment. So we're walking to another house to see. This is what happens every day. They go door to door to make sure these children are vaccinated. It's amazing the work that they do, and the diligence and the perseverance and the commitment. And you see they mark the houses to let people know that the other teams know that they've been here.
So that means that we need to vaccinate the child.
There was one refusal, they have covered it. So it says one cover R, one refusal covered. And there's a date over there.
And you heard him at the very end say that that one refusal. There were 3 refusals. We covered 3 refusals that day. Previously, they had not allowed their children to be vaccinated, but once the healthcare workers and the Rotarians and the leaders in the community had been to develop again that trust, we were able to cover those 3 refusals that particular day. That was extremely important to us and very, very touching moment. That has never happened to me before, so that was wonderful. This slide, now we're in the train station, and we stopped children wherever they were, on the train, on the walkway, outside in the parking lot, going up the escalator, wherever they are, we give them the drops. Parents are very cooperative, and again, showing the prep work that has been done throughout Karachi and other parts of the country. That trust is very evident, so it was very rewarding to see that happen. The next slide, please. And there's some beautiful girls that wanted to say hello. They stuck their hand outside of the train station and wanted to touch us and wanted to shake hands with us and say hello. Spoke English very well, actually. So we had to carry on a little conversation with them. They were sweet little girls and very excited to see some foreigners there, I think. So next slide, please. This is when we stopped at the bus stops and the WHO control center. This healthcare worker, this WHO officer, told me that his boss had told him that he was paid for only 9 to 5 and to go home. And he had called him several times at night and said, go home, it's too late. It's 10 o'clock at night. You need to be home. You're getting paid for 9 to 5. But he said he would not go home because he had children that were moving in all hours of the day and the night. And he wanted to make sure that he didn't lose them. And he wanted to make sure they were vaccinated. His quote to me that was stuck out to me like a red light, he said, it's about the conversion of clinical health to preventable health. So in other words, we can prevent polio by giving drops. So we won't have to treat them when they contract polio later on. Does that make sense? That's where they are. Next slide. This is the bus transit. There are 62 of these stops run by the Rotarians in the Karachi area. The buses stop at these location points. The cold chain is there, as you saw in that very first slide. The vaccines are there. We got on the buses and we walked up and down the aisles to make sure that every child on that bus had either been vaccinated, or if they had not, we made sure that they got the vaccine. That happens on a daily basis, 3, 4, 5 times a day, depending on when the buses come and when they stop. Next slide, Ernie. Well, I wanted to see some of the projects that I've helped with over the years. My district, 7730, completed this global grant for a water filtration center serving a local community of hundreds of people. I drank the water, and after I did, he said, "Oh, we really don't do that." But I did it. I made it through. So next slide. District 7680 provided funding for an artificial limb center to give polio survivors the chance of standing and walking, and some of those for the very first time. This young girl with the long black scarf is one of those survivors. This grant was completed right before we arrived, so I wanted to make sure that I got there, took pictures and videos to send back to 7680 to show their impact. those are only two of the projects that Zone 33 has been involved in Pakistan, and I'm sure Zone 34 has just as many stories. Many of the districts including 7605 and 7600, have done numerous grants like water filtration systems, dialysis centers, um, other types of menstrual health care for young ladies, and other types of grants that are going on in Pakistan. So thanks to all the districts in Zone 33 that have helped with those grants. We had an official meeting. No, this is slide. We had a dinner several nights, and we were introduced to the Japanese consultant from Japan. He was a consulate general, actually. And about 2 weeks later, the Japanese government pledged support to Pakistan for polio the very next week. I can't really say that we had anything to do with it, but well, I guess I could, but I don't think we really did. But it was a nice surprise to hear that later on. In the next slide. This was an official meeting of the Emergency Operations Center in the Sin area with Rotarians, medical personnel, WHO, UNICEF, and they all met to discuss and give us the next steps and give us an update. And they're on it all the time. They are dedicated, they're committed, and it gave me a lot of that. Pakistan will become polio free. It will, because they are so dedicated and they are so committed to making sure that happens. Next slide. And at the Emergency Operations Center, some of the pictures there, we were given sash, red polio advocate, which I thought was very appropriate. And I think we're going to copy that idea as well too, right here in our 33 and 34. And the last slide. Don't play it yet, Bernie. When I arrived in Pakistan, I didn't just see a public health campaign. I saw courage. I saw trust being built, one conversation, one doorstep, one child at a time. I watched health workers walk into communities where the fear and misinformation have lived for years and be welcomed because they are known. These were not strangers. They were neighbors, mothers, sisters, women who had earned trust through consistency, respect, and care. In places where life is hard and uncertainty is constant, the trust is everything. I just interviewed this lady. She is a UNICEF chief officer in Pakistan and Karachi. I met her while I was there. Her name is Melissa Cockram. And I asked her at the end of my interview, I asked her, what message do you think I should tell the people and tell the Rotarians and share with them back in the United States? This is what she said. Bernie, I ask you, what do you want me to tell the Rotarians here in the United States that are not aware and not as it's not on their radar screen as highly as it is in other places? What message would you have me tell them?
I think it's don't give up. Because Rotary had the vision, Rotary had the dream, and now's not the time to give up. And I think those of us that are working on the front line are committed to working to finish the job. So don't give up. And we're so close. I know we keep saying it, we are so close, but I do believe that we are very close. And so don't give up, never give up. Keep with the vision, keep with the spirit, and keep this heart thing. I keep, we are WHO is kind of the brain, and we get caught up in the numbers. Be true to yourselves. You are the heart, and continue to remind us of why this is so important. It's about children, and I think that's why we will continue to do this is for children, and I think you constantly remind us, and so remind yourselves of why, it's an important reminder to you as well of why we started this, and we will do it together, because I think together we do better.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, everybody, and I hope you enjoyed my trip to Pakistan. So now I'm going to turn it over to Colleen for an update on our giving. Colleen?
Yeah, I'm really excited to share some of this information. And actually, it changed this slide. I produced this slide yesterday, and it's actually changed since yesterday. So that's fantastic news. We actually, instead of 13 districts out of 17 districts in Zone 33, we have 14 districts. So that leaves only three districts that haven't given the full 20% yet. So thank you, thank you, thank you to all those districts who have given, and just it makes a huge difference for the children that we're serving. So move on. Next slide. Okay. So let's see where everyone's ranking. And what I did this time is just the total giving, cash and DDF. And this changed yesterday, as a matter of fact, as well. So coming in first is my district, which I'm very proud to say, 7,600. Total giving is just under $270,000 so far this year. Number two, we followed by District 7750, 7690. Bernie's District 770, and then 7680. And I know John Nanny, our incoming and polio coordinator, you guys fell to number 6, but you guys, I think you have the most number of people on this call, so I appreciate the attendance that we have today. All right, next slide, please. All right, this is the cases, and I love looking at this. I love seeing how the numbers have changed from last year to this year. Really, we are making a difference. We are protecting the children, and you can see wild polio cases in 24. We had 99 cases. This year, 39 cases. That's a huge, huge improvement. We had 30 in Pakistan and 9 in Afghanistan. So the numbers are coming down. And then variant polio, the same thing. We had 463 cases in 24, 25, more than half the number of cases have been resolved. So 202 cases. So, and I do want to say that these numbers this is official numbers of the cases, and this comes from the Global Eradication Polio Group. So great job. We just have to keep the momentum going. Just like Melissa said, we are the heart and soul of promoting polio eradication, and we can do it, and we will do it. So I'm going to hand it over to, I believe, Robert. Whoops,
Unmute yourself, Robert. Unmute.
Oh, there you go. There you go. He did it. Okay. So y'all are terrific on DDF. And as Colleen just said, you've had one more added to give 20% already. And as you know, last year we recognized everybody at the Zone Summit in Jacksonville. This year we're going to do the same thing. And we'll have a special guest, Chris Elias, who you know is the #1 person in the Gates organization that you're going to get to meet with over coffee or donuts or something like that. And it's just to say thank you. That's all. You and the DG line make it happen. And with the DRFCs, you've done terrific. But that's not going to make it by itself. And that's when I get really excited. I got a chance to speak over World Polio Day between that and Christmas to about 6 clubs. And I talked mainly about Polio Plus Society. And I talked about that because without that, we will not make it just with DDF. And what was so exciting that you asked the clubs, well, and if you're going to speak to a club, congratulate them on the annual program fund, because most all the clubs do a great job. But just be honest with them and say, but guys or gals, you're not doing much on Polio Plus. And I'd like for you, when we get finished this, and I come or somebody comes and said, hold your hand up if you were part of eradicating polio. In other words, did you give a dime? And not everybody raises their hand. Not everybody raises their hand, can raise it. So I said the Polio Plus Society started on the West Coast. It's a phenomenal program where I believe every person get involved. Can you give $100 a year? Can a Rotarian give $10 a month for Rotary Direct? Yeah, you bet you can. So when you say that, I had a little over 50 people in 6 club visits It's not maybe a lot, but it was pretty responsive. That they click on the QR code, you make it easy for them, and they give the $100. In fact, one guy says, "I'm going to give $500." So you got to let them know, yeah, you can give more than 100. And then another guy said, "I don't want you to be the only one. I'll give $500." So it's like a snowball, this Polio Plus Society, in my opinion. You get it going and people want to join. The other thing I think is important in this Polio Plus Society is that one district had a person give 50,000 to match members in the district who would join the Polio Plus Society. Another three districts together had a person give 500,000 for anybody in the whole state that would give to the Polio Plus Society. So I'll guarantee you that every district represented here, you have one person, at least one Rotarian who will match. People love leveraging their gifts. And if you tell them that take 10, take 25, take 50, whatever, and say you can leverage your gift because if they give 100 and you give 100 and Gates then gives how much? 400, you can tell them your $100 is $600. That is a big damn deal. Where else can you invest your money 6 to 1? So people like that. With a Polio Plus Society, anybody can be part of this. When we finish this and finish our promise to the children of the world, everybody ought to be able to hold a hand up and say, man, I was part of this. The other thing I just mentioned, we got the Kennel Club on the West Coast started, and we needed the 1st of December. I think we were at 290 and needed 10 more, I guess, something like that, to get to 300 Kennel Club members. Do y'all know what the Kennel Club is? Any animal can join the Kennel Club. Greg Pod had his queen bees. He has 3 join the Kennel Club out in Colorado. Well, I don't have any dogs. I don't have any cats. I do have kids, and I have one son, and I have one grandson, and I had another son with 2 dogs. And I mentioned it to one when we were together Christmas Eve, and he's a Rotarian. He says, "I'll do that." So his brother said, "What do you mean you're going to do what?" He's not a Rotarian anymore. And I told him, and he said, "Well, I got 2 dogs. Could I Venmo you $200 right now?" You sure can. And guess what? I got these for every one of my animals friends. You see this? Have I got it the right way? You could get one of these. And Molly will send you one. In fact, they're trying to get to 600 by the end of this year. And an individual's already put up 30,000 for the first 300 members. And we're looking, in case you want to be that person, to up with another 30,000 to match the next 300. It's all about having fun and increasing participation and everybody getting involved in this greatest gift we've ever given to the children of the world. We are going to finish it. We're not dropping out. And I thank you for all you're doing on what in your districts, in your clubs as you make these visits. Thank y'all today. Appreciate it. And I'm turning this over right now to John Nanny. John.
Okay. If you can put up the slide, the last slide, or next to last. There we go. We want you to save the date for May 1st through 2nd on the Zone 33 District Team Learning Seminar at the Delta Hotel in downtown Virginia. Registration is open. And also, we're going to have a lot of fun at this one. October 21st through the 25th, Zone 33-34 Summit, Rotary Revolution at the famous Williamsburg Lodge in Williamsburg, Virginia. So please put these dates, that also is registration is open. Please put these dates on save the date and register, and it'd be a lot of fun. And now I have the absolute honor to introduce previous Rotary International President Stephanie Yurchek and current Rotary trustee. Stephanie, thank you for being here.
Thank you, John. Family of Rotary, 47 years. That's how long we've been talking about polio eradication since that first effort by past President Jim Bomar, who went into the Philippines as an experiment and immunized children in the Philippines. We've been talking about polio eradication for 47 years. Are we tired? Some people are, all right. But how tired is that little girl who's on a skateboard and she's using her hands to travel a mile so that she can get water somewhere? How tired is that family that keeps going to the hospital, waiting to see if they're the ones who will have their child operated on to correct polio paralysis? How tired are they? How tired are the people that Nancy Barbie talked about? The ones who she met in Pakistan, who go daily, door to door, looking for children who haven't been immunized, or walking into the buses and the vans and other vehicles to find children. I venture to say that every single one of you on this call, all of you, I think there are 70 plus, all of you are already polio warriors. You are already supporting financially or promoting the Rotary Foundation. It's not you that needs to hear these messages tonight. It's the people that you will come in contact with. So a call to action from this call tonight is really from me to you. I want you to have 2 conversations this week and every week. One with a member of your Rotary Club. And it can be as simple as saying, hey, did you know Rotary started doing this polio work in 1979? Or it could say, hey, do you know that our district is number 5 in total giving for polio? It can be anything. Have a conversation with a member of your Rotary Club, and then have a conversation like that with somebody who is not in your Rotary Club. It could be a relative. It could be your niece. It could be a neighbor. It could be somebody you frequent a call, are the ones who have to continue to remind people about the importance of this job. Why are we still talking about it? Well, it's pretty simple, because the job isn't done yet. It's not done yet. Like Nancy, I had an opportunity when I was in the presidential line to visit Pakistan, and my first visit was with the women who were going door to door. And one of the things that we did with them was to simply say, thank you for doing our job, and we have your backs. Every Rotarian in the world understands what you're doing. You're putting, in some cases, your life in danger. You're doing hard work, climbing, traveling, hot, carrying things. And we want you to know how much we appreciate what you're doing. And we had little photo ops and gave them certificates, and it was heartwarming. And I also, like Nancy, had a chance to visit the male frontline workers, the ones who were going into those vehicles. And like Nancy, I was amazed. I was amazed that every single vehicle in Pakistan has to stop at a transit location and allow these workers to go in and check for the children. So after I had come off of a bus, I said to one of the men, this is so amazing. How many of these are happening? And he said, well, we keep very good records, and across Pakistan, we are immunizing 3,000 children every single day. Now, you talk about persistence. You talk about folks who are continuing to promote and support. And I think that's remarkable for us to keep those stories in mind. And it's up to us to continue to remind the people in our clubs, in our districts, in our zones, and in our Rotary world about the importance of the work that we're doing. Polio will be eradicated. It will happen, and it will happen because there are people like us and people like the workers all over the world, Pakistan, Afghanistan, Nigeria, India, everywhere, who take this job so seriously and continue to do the work of polio eradication. Now let me turn it back over to our host, Nancy Barbie.
Wow, Stephanie, that was heart-wrenching. I mean, it's amazing, and like you, when you see it and when you tell about it, it does make a difference. And we all have our stories. Every one of you on this call and every one of the people in your clubs have a story. I bet if you ask how many people have been affected by someone in their family or someone that they know or someone in the community that had polio, they would probably raise their hand. They would. John Nanny can raise his hand. He knows someone that had polio. He's had polio and he's a polio survivor. And I tell you, John didn't get the vaccine, but we do have the opportunity now to give the vaccine to children, every child today. So we want to make sure that we continue to do that. I can't thank Stephanie enough for being with us. I can't thank Robert Hall enough for being with us today and giving his take on polio Kennel Club, the Polio and Polio Plus Society. Those are two important resources and tools to use to help us raise our much needed funds. Whether we like it or not, it costs money to eradicate polio. And we've got to continue this. We have to do. Thank you, Patrick, for being here. He's somewhere on this screen somewhere. Thank you, Patrick, for being with us today and telling about fundraising ideas. I love the fundraising ideas. I'd love to hear about more of your fundraising ideas. And before we stop, we've got a few more minutes. Does anybody have any questions for anybody? If you want to raise your hand, and we have a few time for a few questions. Okay, Robert Hall's got a question. Oh Lord.
You have to unmute, Robert. Unmute, Robert. Unmute.
Why do y'all mute me all the time? God. Hey, listen, I just want to tell y'all, Kim Walden's on this call, and Kim is our social media and Polio Plus Society coordinator worldwide. And she's been working with a team with Brenda Cressy, who you know very well. And the new website we're going to do, I don't know, Zone 3334 polio website, something like that, is really going to be fantastic. And the handout that your DGE gets at IA next week will be right spot on. So thank you for all you're doing. Thanks for Kim for doing the website.
And
And it's
happy
also,
birthday, Kim.
I was going to
Yeah,
say it's
happy
also
birthday,
Kim's
Kim.
birthday. It's also Kim's birthday, and she does a great job. And thank you so much for doing all that because you can ask her for a graphic, boom, we get it just like this, and so it's great. I think Geeta has a question, and then Sandy. Geeta.
Nancy, it would be really nice to know if we could have a map in zones 33, 34 about all of the activities through grants, district or global grants that have to do with polio or polio support services. If we could get that all together, wouldn't that be great? I mean, we can then display it on our map.
Yeah, that would be great. We have to check into that. Thank you, Geeta. Sandy.
Nancy, how do you keep track of the children in Pakistan that have gotten the vaccine and that you gave the vaccine?
Same way that they've done it in India, that the tried and true methods that they've done in India and other places in Nigeria. They have they write it down, and they do go over those numbers every day, and they've got a list. If you go in the offices and the different places, Stephanie can tell you this too. You see on the wall where they've been, where the children are, how many they gave, those type of things. So they do track them, and it's amazing to me. They know where those babies have been born. They know where there's a child in a house somewhere. I mean, I couldn't imagine. Thank God they didn't leave us there and walk off and leave us in the. I'd have never made. I'd been in there. I'd be there today. I would be right there. So, but yeah, but that's what happened, Sandy. I hope that answered your question. Any other questions? Have we got any other hands up? Bernie, you see any other hands up going up? Is there anything in the chat box?
No,
Kim Walton says
nothing.
we'll be adding some additions to the polio information on the zones 3334.org website. So please check those often. And if you have any trouble getting there or getting resources, please let Colleen, myself know, or Bernie, or Kim, or Robert. All of us are here to help you. All of us here are to give you the resources that you need to be successful. And if you have any questions at all, we're right here. Please make sure that you ask us. Anything else?
Yeah, we have a question from asking, is there a video we can share in our clubs?
A video of
I guess
That's me.
regarding.
Hi, Crystal Ball O'Connor. I wondered if there's something that we, just as an education piece about what polio does when children have it and what we're doing to address it so that it can become more real for people to understand.
You can show part of this video. I mean, the part that Nancy talked about, what, her trip to Pakistan explains beautifully, what our frontline workers are doing. So this would be a great piece of a video that you could show.
right.
There's also a number of videos on YouTube. I know Nancy has a podcast that has done a number of things that would be excellent for clubs to see.
Okay, thank you.
I'll drop that. Thank you for that. I'll drop that. I've interviewed a lot of people that are on this call actually to give you some more information, some of the same information that they've had and some new information that you may not have heard this evening. So they're good for quick things. You don't have to watch the whole thing, but you could watch pieces of it. Any other questions?
Yeah, we have a question from Al DeLuca. How can a pet become a member of the Kennel Club?
Robert knows that. Robert, there's a form.
That's easy. Just send me a text. But I may any of the Colleen and Nancy and all those, but send me a text, Al. I'll certainly want to. I don't like cats at all, but cats that are polio kennel club members, I do like.
I have cats. Robert. Be careful.
Oh God.
Baby Kitty and Squeaky will be
I'll
upset.
shoot you a text, Robert. Thanks.
Send me a text. Anybody send me a text if you want to be a member
Yeah,
of the kennel
And
club.
I know Tom Smith in 7680 started a kennel club.
Yeah.
Tom, you in 7680. Tom, you want to talk about that just for a second or two?
Yeah, we've got, I think, 150 odd members in our kennel club now.
Look at that.
So, and growing,
Well, let me ask you, does Greg Owen and Liz Babar know that? Do they know that?
I have no idea.
Send me a
I
text
put it
about
out every
that.
month.
Send me a text. My phone, my email's changed, but I want to let them know that. That's terrific. We're trying to get to 600.
Yep.
Robert,
Yeah.
they are aware. This is Lorraine. They are
Okay.
aware.
Good, good.
Okay.
God, that's
So
phenomenal.
if you need help
We are
starting,
looking at starting one in 7750 as well.
Golly.
And
if
I've been
y'all need-
working with her on that.
if y'all need help starting a kennel club, Tom Smith has gone through the ranks, and Lorraine's going to go through the ranks with it. So
Yeah, that's great, Lorraine.
let's do a zone-wide
It
kennel
works
club.
well.
Let's do a zone-wide kennel club. I think that'd be a great idea.
That's terrific.
There's a couple of comments in the comment section that regarding Kennel Club and also Nancy's YouTube, and resources are also available at End Polio Now site.
Okay.
Congratulations. Thanks, Alan. Thanks, Tom and Lorraine.
Well, this wraps up our call, I believe. Thank you, Colleen, for helping me with this and being my cohort and partner in crime. And now we're adding a new partner in crime. It's going to be even more dangerous. John Nanny, he'll be joining us. Bernie, thanks as always for being our techie guy and being our leader in as the RFC and everybody on this call. I can't thank all of you enough for being polio supporters and champions, because all of you are. Give yourselves a round of applause and thank you so much for all that you do for polio and all you do for the Rotary Foundation and all you do for Rotary. Thank you so much.